cheese on toast with pickles or pasta and Parmesan? Well, we'll see when I get to the stove. You might want to sit down and have a cup of tea or something. You've been really busy out there. Hey, everybody. I'm going to give everybody a chance to come in before I start talking. Well, maybe I'm going to start talking anyway. Hey, I'm going to wait for everybody to get in before I do the shout outs. So remember, hi, baby.
Hi. Same favor? I'm going to charge your battery.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Okay, come back here. Come back here. You guys, this is the magic maker. Now show them what you brought for me. This.
Sandpaper.
And sandpaper. Yes. Give me a kiss. Oh, my goodness. You're all snowy and wet. I saw you snow blowing.
Yeah, snow blowing. Cars, the fire outside today.
Awesome. We're going to have a simple supper tonight. Maybe cheese on toast with pickles or pasta and Parmesan with cream and... That sounds fine? Okay. Tomorrow we're having turkey dinner. All right. Hi, everybody. Remember to say hello in the chat as you come in. Yes, I still have this tree up. We are not calling it a Christmas tree. Just because it's a pine tree doesn't have to be a Christmas tree. We're going to be decorating it in different themes this summer. Remember to say hi as you come into chat so I can shout you out, because you then will be on the participants list. Before I go any further, I want to apologize for yesterday. I should have taken that to my patrons, and which I did later. We did our Freaky Friday, but we did it last night. And I have been in an because I've been kind of blank, but I have been in like a vacuum for a couple of weeks. I have been at the lowest point. Just a lot of things I allowed to crash in on me, and then losing a friend to assisted suicide really, really tipped me over the edge. And I should not have brought that to you guys. What I'm here to say, what I want to say about that is thank you for being there for me. I apologize if I upset anybody. It was, if you see me in much better spirits today, it's not a flip like that. That was like weeks building up and of things that were really, really bothering me in the world right now. And then that happened, or I got that news, and it was just like the domino effect. So I went to my patrons last night and we listened to some music and we talked. And the truth is, she's no longer in pain. And that was her choice. And the one thing I knew about my friend Barb was that she lived life on her terms, on life's terms. And she took everything that was dished at her, tossed at her, and she made life out of it. I'm not going to tell you her story, but she did not have a really, she had a rough life in a lot of ways. So it just hit me really, really hard that somebody I never expected, somebody so strong and so brave and so beautiful of heart and soul, would make that choice that I didn't understand. And that's why it hit me so hard. She would have been the last person I would have thought it. But the truth is, Barb passed away on the same terms she lived her life, on her own rules, with her own rules and her own terms. And it's not something that we can agree or disagree about. It's her choice. That's between her and her creator, right? And so once I accepted that, I was much, much better. I'm going to be grieving for some time. I've been texting her. I've been texting her, you know, on Messenger, knowing she's out there in the ether, right? And she's okay. It's me who wasn't okay. It kind of pitched really close to home. See, you know, if I was able to use opiate pain medication, I might have been faced with something similar, where, I can see how people who are in chronic pain, you know, they're either crippled up with it or they're glued to the couch because they're on pain medication. I'm really, really lucky I can't take opiates. So I can see how that's not a life. You know what I mean? And may not understand her choice, but I respect her choice. And I love her. I'll never stop loving that woman. Right? So that's why I wanted to say I'm sorry that I'm sorry that I went live at one of the most rawest moments of the year for me. Like of the last 12 to 24 months. It was a really raw time. So, I'll save it for my patrons in the future. Okay. Anyway, I wanted to say that I'm in a much better place today, and I had a lot of help from my patrons last night and music, and my husband. You know, he's he's magic as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, they can make things worse too. That's right. Okay, so let's pop out. We're at 106. So let's pop out the participants list and let me say hello to all sorts. Oh, they're my favorite candy. Well, one of my favorite candies at Christmas. Just don't like anything with coconut in it. Seashell, aloha, darling. Garnet Morgan, Jackie Geeb, Joe Mama, Jammin', which for anybody who doesn't know, that's just a mom doing stuff. I call her Jammin' because it's easier. Craig and Anne-Marie Brown, Linda Bopp, hi, darling. Linda Chandler. Mama T, Marisol Rivera Shore, Minnesota Farmer's Wife, Julie, Mama Dukes, Pearly White, hi Shell, Roberta Ackerman, Rosie Bernard, Sherry Leach, Tammy Duncan, Tina Elliott, and Trudy W. And let's put this on live chat. And I'm really tired. But I got out of bed this morning at 9 o'clock. Can't remember the last time I was out of bed that time of day. And made pancakes and sausages. And I want you guys to know that January is my vacation time, kind of my downtime. But I kind of have had that in play most of December. Because if you know, I did a lot of live streams. So here's what you can expect for 2024, or at least for the rest of this winter. Okay. Hi, Lena K. Marisol Rivera Shore. Oh, well, thank you. I do try to pronounce people's names right. I get a little hard, like when it's my friend Ednitska, I have to really look at her last name. Wild Nature Farm, hi, Happy New Year. Leona 59, hi. I am Dana Fairchild. Kim Solomon, Lindsay, hello. YouTube will unsubscribe you all the time. YouTube's been doing all kinds of weird stuff. They've been messing with my comments. Like all of a sudden my comments will be turned off on one of my videos and I have to go and reset all of my channels because I have several. Some I don't use that you don't know about. Some I don't use. I just have there. Well, thank you, Craig and Anna Marie. You should have seen it at Christmas. But yeah, I'm going to be taking the snow down before spring, but I decided to take a lot of stuff and craft stuff out of my office here and make it a studio, so that you guys didn't have to look at all my craft stuff and dressers of fabric and all that all the time. That's just my boom box. And it's kind of in the way at the moment, but it's not. You don't usually see it. I am having a better day, Jenny Bruno. Sorry. I am having a better day. And hi, Laura Higgins. Well, we got snow. So the snow is back. And all right, okay. This is what you can expect. I'm still a little in the fog, okay, folks? Because, you know, it's been a weird couple of weeks. It's been a weird few weeks. And when you've got stuff simmering beneath the surface and one thing triggers a blowout like I had yesterday, it's tiring. It wears you out. It's like you've been holding yourself together by sheer will, and then all of a sudden you just explode. Like a balloon that's had a pin stuck in it. And it's full of shit and gunk. You know what I mean? No snow in New York City. Hey, Judy Grossman. So here is what's... the kids are disappointed. Oh, it's coming. Trust me. It's coming. But here's what you can expect for the rest of the winter anyway. I'm going to be doing live streams like I've been doing throughout December in the kitchen or working on projects and stuff. And yes, Lindsay, it made me feel better because I worked through, you can ask my patrons, I worked through a lot of those feelings with them and through music, right? It's myself that I was hurting for because I didn't get to say goodbye. I didn't know. I didn't hear. it was all about my feelings. When I realized that it was my feelings that I was dealing with, then I could deal with them. I could deal with them through words and music and friends, right? I walked my way through it last night. And it was like, by the end of the evening, I was at peace with the fact that my pain was my pain. Barb was in pain no longer. She was free. My concern about the whole assisted suicide thing is, where do you draw the line? Right? Where do you draw the line? And that's all I'm going to say right now. I'll probably talk about it in a Rumble. I have not done a Rumble in a long time because I have not been... We have to replace something on our shower because it squeals all the time because we get calcium buildup in it. I can hear Howie cursing at it in there. Well, not cursing, telling it to shut up. So... yeah, it was better among friends, right? No see you laters were said. And I can understand that because, you might tell a trusted few or one or two, that people are going to have your back and not talk you out of it. And I know that if Barb and I hadn't talked on the phone in several years, probably 5 years. But we kept up on Messenger, right? And if she had phoned me and told me, she knows damn well I would have tried to talk her out of it. And that wasn't where she didn't want to have, I'm sure she didn't want to have to explain herself to everybody. Right? So, six months or less to live. Well, not here in Canada, right? They look at quality of life. And now they're passing legislation that people with debilitating mental illness can now be offered assisted suicide by their caregivers. That's new legislation. So where do you draw the line? Because the last time I heard, because I know that they have these pods in Sweden stuff where you just go in, lay down, and push a button. Do you know why they do that? They'll give you the intravenous and allow you to inject yourself. They'll give you the pills and let you take them yourself, because if they do it, it's murder. Why do you think on death row, it's a machine doing the injections? Right? It's, so you don't know what Patreon is? Patreon, I don't want to talk about this much longer, but the moral and ethical implications of assisted suicide are really, really upsetting, for me. What are my thoughts on that? Okay, can you rephrase that question, Laura, so that I understand exactly what you're asking me? What are my thoughts on what? Can you expand on that question? Patreon is a fan funding platform, I guess you could call it. And what it is there are times when we can't talk about stuff on YouTube. Patreon, we can talk a little more comfortably because it's an unlisted, and I go unlisted live 3 days a week with my patrons, Monday, Wednesday, and we have what's known as Freaky Friday, where we put the mute boombox on and we talk and we laugh and we shed any negativity from the week. And so on Monday, Wednesday, that's what Patreon is. It's $5 a month American or $7.50 a month Canadian. I do believe there's a 5% discount if you pay for the year, or is it 10? I'm not sure which. And I would rather people become patrons than tip me through YouTube, because I have tried to discourage people tipping me through YouTube, because YouTube takes 45% of everything I earn, including tips. Whereas my Patreon platform, to use the entire Patreon platform, it only costs me 8% of the fees that people pay, right? So for $5 a month American, you get me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Sometimes we go Saturday, like we did this weekend. And, it's unlisted. The live, the Freaky Friday lives, they get deleted right afterwards. So it's one of those things where you need to show up if you want to partake in the Freaky Friday, right? My brain is not all here. Okay? What are your thoughts about doctor-assisted suicide? This is my thing. If someone is in debilitating pain, like say I had, God forgive me, but say somebody had MS, and they were at the point where they couldn't even swallow, or Lou Gehrig's disease, where they were frozen in place and they couldn't swallow anymore, but they were locked inside a body and their brain is okay. Their thought processes are okay. It's just they're trapped. I can understand that. Okay? I can understand it. Doesn't mean I would do it, but I can understand it. All right? What I don't understand is it being offered and allowed to people who are functional. Maybe they're not so functional because of pain, but maybe they're functional in the sense where they've got pain, and when they're not in pain, they're on opiates, so they're kind of in a stone vegetative state. Thank God for marijuana, guys. But when someone's in a great deal of pain, they don't necessarily, you need to talk to them when they're not in I think it's a slippery slope. I think I can see elderly people being talked into it. You look at Soylent Green, right? Look at the one Star Trek where there's one planet that everybody dies. Everybody goes to assisted suicide at age 62 because, well, they leave while the party's still good. You know what I mean? There are all these moral implications that it's so easy to talk people into, and I really don't like the idea that it only takes 2 doctors to agree on the diagnosis and 1 witness to the affected person's signature. I'm telling you, the rules about abortion in Canada, let's see. When did she go through that? Back in like the early 80s, I guess. If a person wanted an abortion, they had to see a gynecologist. Then the gynecologist had to decide whether it was a good idea to terminate. And then he had to convince a panel of doctors. And then the doctors had to vote on it. And then you got a yes or no. Okay? That was abortion in the 80s. How have we come to assisted suicide with 2 doctors and a signature? Right? So that's that's my thoughts. I don't necessarily agree with it, but it does mean I understand it. And when I said to Howie, what happens if a person comes up against a wall in their mind and they don't see any way around it? Right? I've been there, right? And I've learned to go around walls and over walls instead of trying to go through them. I've learned how to part the darkness in my life, right? This kind of stuff that I went through in the last 2 weeks would have drained me for a year or more before, right? These are the things that I've learned to not take in my stride, but trace the feelings, face the feelings, and then feel the feelings and then let them go, right? That's the process I have to live through to stay sane with really bad stuff, right? And who can be trusted as far as the professionals? Exactly. Here's my other thought. Trusted doctors were trusting boards who were trusting government, who were trusting the World Health Organization on something that didn't work and actually had harmful effects. So we're supposed to trust these people with our mental health? I think of so many people in my life that I know of at least 4 people in my life that if they got to a really low point would think of assisted suicide. And I can't go there. I can't go there because that is just a thought thing. That's letting society become more disposable than ever. It's bad enough our governments are squeezing us like grapes for every last dime that they can get out of us so that they can fund their wars and launder their money that they've stolen. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Okay, so can we change the subject now? Because that's as close as I want to get to discussing my feelings on it, okay? I guess I was pretty clear, but... Okay, so now we're going to move on to what you can expect for 2024, or the rest of the winter anyway. Thank you. It's Bah Humpug. It's one of my favorites. My sister-in-law, Karen, Howie's sister, gave it to me for Christmas one year. And if I could find another one, I would get it. So I've been watching videos on how to grow strawberries from seed. I've got the seeds, so we're going to try that. You saw how we bring in a wire wheel. Are you charging that drill, dear? Awesome. Sorry, my mind went to supper for a second. I've been asking Howie for months to bring in my Dutch oven and a frying pan, cast iron, that were in the bottom of the coach. And they must have gotten damp, and they're bright red with rust. So you saw the sandpaper, you saw the drill with the wire wheel. We are going to be refurbishing some cast iron, because now that winter is officially back with snow and cold weather, I'm going to be cooking more on the wood stove. I'm going to be doing some wood stove cooking things. So I might even bake bread on the wood stove. We will see. But I'm going to be doing a lot of videos live. Okay, you guys, I've got so many pre-recorded videos on how to do things, how to bake things, that I would prefer to do some of my projects live. If folks want the video, you know, I can record it while I'm doing it and then make a pre-recorded video so people don't have to watch the whole live. So, but for the rest of this winter, there's going to be a lot of live projects, not a lot of pre-recorded projects. They take a lot more work out of me, and I'm still recovering from a really rough summer, you know, spring, summer, and fall. Remember, I blew my knee, I blew my hip, I blew my back, and I still managed to fill my pantry, which is really nice to see. Thought you just had to throw rusted cast iron into a hot fire. Really? But I don't have I have a wood stove going, but it's not big enough. Right? So I'm just going to be taking the rust off and re-seasoning them. That's pretty much what I'm going to do. Seed starting will be coming soon. What is it? It's the 7th. I got to wait over a month to start seeds. However, I may start the strawberry seeds sooner than that so that I have a chance for them to grow. I don't know. Some say it can take weeks and weeks, and some say, you know, just... Gordy here. Aquí historias de fregadero. Well, be well, my dear lady. Validate your feelings and emotions, but know you have the strength and fortitude. Do not only survive, but thrive under any conditions. Blessings from Puerto Rico. Well, thank you. Thank you. I have to admit, yesterday I was feeling pretty scared for myself. I wasn't feeling scared for myself. I was feeling lost. And it wasn't until I got in here with my patron friends, and we, you know, I talked about Barb, and we played music, and I smoked a big joint and had a medicated cup of tea, and I relaxed, and I was in my safe place. You know, I don't know if patrons understand how safe that place is for me, right? Alpine strawberries are perennials. Well, I don't know what these are. I don't know what these, you know, I thought all strawberries were perennials. Oh, awesome, Seashell. Hi, Donald. Hi, honey. I have not used my new canner. Today is the day my pig is getting butchered and wrapped, so we should get it one day this week. And then hopefully, I don't know when the beef is coming, but as soon as the beef and the pork is here. Howie, did you unplug the freezer and leave it open? Because he's got to clean the freezer, the big freezer. So once the beef is here and the pork is here, I'm going to be cooking and canning a lot of ground meat. Never grew strawberries. May have to try them. Well, I've been watching. There's some videos that show you how to do it right from seeds, but Where's Autumn Gypsy? She was here a minute ago. Nat. 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 Where did you go, Nat? Are you here, Nat? There she is. Why? What's going on? Who's flooding? We've been flooded off and on since October. Might be time to move. There's nothing worse than damp either, right? Is that a whole pig? How much does that cost? I have no idea. I order from a farmer. They're gonna start making that illegal. So let's fight for that if we can. Okay. I order from a farmer that works with Howie. Most farmers nowadays work off the farm to keep it running financially. But he works at Howie's, where Howie's shop. He works in the office. And Howie has a sticker for him on his car, which gives us a bit of a deal, an advertising sticker on the race car. But I actually don't know, because he said, do you want a pig this year? And I said, yes. I just started paying him money. Every time I had, a paycheck or actually I'd send him $100 or $150 or $200 until I reached $1,500. And he said, don't pay me anymore. Don't pay me anymore, because we don't know. He, don't want to have to give money back, right? So I don't know. I will know when the beef is done how much left is owing, if we're due a refund. And if we're due a refund, I'll just ask him if he's got any extra meat or venison or whatever to throw it my way. So we'll see. We'll see. Because last year I paid $890 for a side of beef. But it wasn't a huge side of beef. These are yearling steers, right? Hey, Lori, how are you? Frida, Mama Dukes, Elaine. Yeah, they're going to try and make it illegal. Like I think this is in the States where they're raiding Amish farms and stuff for raw milk and that. But they're going to start making it illegal to buy directly from the farmer. And when that day comes, I'll start raising my own again. And if they try and tell me I can't, then we'll just see, right? How long will that last us? Well, last year, the side of beef we got it in December, and we were out of it. Near the end, I had to grind and can up a lot of the meat, because it's only good in the freezer, and especially when it's in butcher paper. It's only good in the freezer for up to 6 months. So that's why this year I got a little creative with the cut sheets when I learned them. Liver and onions. I always get the beef liver so that I can dehydrate it for Gracie, but I'll be eating some. I'm really low on my iron. Apparently, I'm anemic. And everyone says, you can't be anemic. You're through menopause. No, I'm anemic because I've had gastric bypass surgery, and food goes through me faster than normal. And I don't get the absorption I should. But yes, liver and onions are coming, and I'm gonna cook them for me. I'll make burgers for Howie or something that night. So and it's not just heavy duty canning lids, Seashell. They sell canners now, and if you use my coupon code HalfAcre, all one word, you'll get 10% off of anything you buy at 4 Jars. Okay. You won't have farm animals. You will have pets. Linda, how long have you been with me, honey? Honestly, how long have you been with me, Linda? Raise your hand if you guys remember me scratching pigs' bellies. And see, this is what people who are newer in the last few years don't see anymore. They don't see me don't see Howie and I dispatching animals and hanging them and eviscerating them and butchering them and freezing them and all that. You don't see that anymore, because we don't do that anymore. But we never lost sight. This was just because the animals were going to end up as food doesn't mean they didn't deserve love and respect while they were alive. So yes, I tickled pigs' bellies and scratched their backs with sticks. And yes, I gave apples to my steer, and yes, I grew fodder for my goats and all of these things. But the truth of the matter is that's the thing. One of the hardest things to do when you raise your own animals for your freezer is to balance love with practicality, right? My old YouTube account got taken down. Well, yeah, most of my pigs were called pork, chop, ham and bacon, Thelma and Louise. Once we called the redheads Thelma and Louise. But animals, just because they're going to be food, it doesn't mean that you divorce yourself from caring, right? They're going to be treated with love and respect right up to the point where they're going in my belly next to the potatoes and gravy, right? I love my animals from hatching, and people say, I don't know how you can do it, because I never lose sight of where they came, of why they're here. I don't have pets. That's why you'd never see me have a micro pig for a pet, because I would get attached and probably, I'm not, whatever. That you tell those federales if they say you can't grow food. A happy animal makes tastier meat. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, to get around it, you have to call them pets. Oh, that's what she meant. Okay. Well, they're even, outlawing exotic pets now. So, you know what? Try me. That's all I got to say. Try me. But we're getting to the point where we can't raise our own anymore. So, like I said, this year we got a side of beef last year, and this year we got a whole pig and a side of beef. And next year, I'm hoping that I can talk to Stephanie and ask her what it would cost for me to get 10 whole chickens, because she raises probably 100 meat birds a year, and sometimes she shares them with family. But we'll see. Hey, Pen by Pen. I like that name. It should be painted by Pen, though, because that's what you do. Hey, Debbie Altman from Oklahoma. Yeah. G'day from Australia. Mario. How's it going? So yeah, there's going to be a lot of live streams for the next few months. I've got things going on. Yes, the tree is still up in the dining room, but it's not decorated. It's going down the basement soon. I've still got to clean up my island, my dining room, and I'm going to start doing pantry pull meals and projects and live streams, right? So that's what you can expect. It's going to be the laid back pace I've been kind of setting over the holidays. And if you don't think that was laid back, go back a couple of years where I was doing baking and cookie decorating parties and turduckens at Thanksgiving and all that stuff. I don't go there anymore. But tomorrow I'm making a turkey dinner in the crock pot, or maybe in the oven, because I might want to make a bread pudding to go with it, but we'll see. But you won't get that video until Tuesday, right? It is time to garden plan. And somebody sent me this wonderful little book for 2024 to 25, and it's a garden calendar, right? So I'm going to be filling this out. I may even use one of the January pages as my garden beds. See that? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 So I may, use one of these pages to draw in my garden beds. And then we're going to keep track of the seeds I start in February. And of course, into May and June and July. Once this stuff gets in, Howie's going to figure out a way of raising my garden beds. In other words, just raising the sides some so that I don't have to bend as much. I'm waiting on the dishwasher to finish, then I'll be canning turkey broth. I'll be doing bone broth too. Well, that is one of the things I want to do when the pig and the beef get here. When the pork and the beef get here. I'm going to cook a bunch of ground meat together because I find too much pork upsets my bowels. So if I grind it, or if I take the ground pork and the ground beef and I cook them together and I can them together, it's going to be easier. But of course, I am going to save some ground meat, some ground beef for things like hamburger gravy, which I could probably do with canned. But I'm going to save some ground beef for like meatloafs and things like that. And I've also asked for all fat trimmings from both beef and pork and all the beef bones. I don't know about pork bones. If I get pork bones, great, right? Which I will. I've got bone broth from last year, because we, like I said, we got our thing in September last year, our beef. Okay, Elaine, take care, honey. Take care. Hey, gotta be Katie, Jules, Angie back, Edie Murray. Hi, darling. So I have tomatoes still here in Louisiana, but they're dying because of the cool weather, getting them frost. Wow. That's the difference. See, I have a much shorter growing season than most people in like Ontario. And well, depends. I live in Western Quebec, which is east of Ottawa. East and north of Ottawa. So I like pork broth better than beef. Really? The snow was so heavy, it's like moving cement half hardened. Oh, wow. If I'm in Pennsylvania, to whom it was, that was me. I wanted to get it in my head. I wasn't sure if you were in New York or Pennsylvania, so. Yeah, so I'm going to be canning a lot of the meat. I'm going to be making lard. I'm going to be making suet. I'm going to be, they asked if I wanted suet. I said yes. So I'm going to be grounding, and then I'm going to be making soap. And I made myself, you saw me make a bucket of laundry soap. That's for me. Howie's work clothes are getting the Tide because it doesn't bother him at all, right? Got 7 inches of snow last night. That's Thunder Bay, right, Ontario? Well, we got a couple of inches last night, and now it's just a very gentle snow, not quite flurries, but I have a feeling we're going to be getting more. Oh, Linda, be careful, darling. I have French dips for leftovers. What's a French dip? I'm doing a freezer inventory. We have a bunch of hash browns and fish. Does that sound like a crazy supper? I'm making cheese on toast, which means I'm slicing homemade bread, toasting it, and then putting it in the oven with cheese on it. That's supper, and pickles on the side. So anyway, you got to be more careful, Linda. We're not spring chickens anymore. You know what I mean? So we're going to be decorating this tree soon for Valentine's Day, and then it's going to be St. Patrick's Day, and then it's going to be Easter, and then we're going to have Canada Day. We're going to do Solstice, Canada Day. Well, I'm going to do whatever I can, right? If I could have four different decorations to see me through, sets of decorations to see me throughout the years. Research French dip. Roasted beef with au jus. Oh, prime rib with au jus. Hi, Snowbella. I just binge watched The Crown. I'm just sitting here listening to my sister, and then I'm going to go to sleep finally. Hey, Wendy, I just finished season 12 of Call the Midwife. How are you, Wendy? How are you doing? You may want to try and hold off sleeping until later, to try maybe get you back into a... Hey, DNA Books and Music, Dima Beth, Lacey Black. Yes, my birthday is on Wednesday. Whoopity-doo. It is kind of cool. I'm going to be 60, and I got the gray hair to prove it. And I'm actually proud of the fact that I made it this far, because I still wake up on the right side of the soil, and it's a celebration every time I stand up, getting out of bed in the morning, and I can walk under my own power. Yes, I have to hold on to the dresser and the wall for the first few steps, but by God, I got up this morning, and that, thank you God, is what I needed, right? As long as I wake up on the right side of the soil, I'm going to do my best to make the most of every single day. How green is the shirt I sent? There's a lot of strings. And I'm not one for sleeves. So, but I've tried it on. I think it fits, but I did wash it. So we'll see. Lori. Okay. But St. Patty's Day's coming, right? Yours is on Thursday, Melissa. Oh, how cool. How cool. Well, patrons will see me on Wednesday. Maybe I'll do a live stream. We'll see, right? But I remember the last 60th birthday was Howie's cousin Crystal made the cake, and we threw a party for Nan. And I've thrown Nan, not huge parties, but I've made cakes and stuff for Nan for a lot of years. Haven't been lately, but I've done my share of birthdays for Nan. So yours was Saturday. You mean yesterday, Tracy? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, sweet Tracy Dawn. Happy birthday to you. Well, Katrina, babe, you're just going to have to wait until next Sunday. Is listening and purring. Hi, Sam. Brow. Ow. Brow. Brow. Ow. All right. Listen, I got to go. I'm going to make an early supper and watch TV with my hubby for the rest of the day. We're watching a new series on BritBox called The Bay. And, we watched a really good movie called The Marsh King's Daughter. It was really good. I really enjoyed that. The second was 70 for me. Oh, my goodness, Patricia. Wow. I'm headed out to food shop. Love your chats. Thank you, Marisol. You're always a pleasure to watch and chat with. I will be on the lookout for your canning videos. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love you guys. Take care. God bless. And we'll see you live probably tomorrow doing some kind of project or another. All right? Mwah. Take care. God bless. And remember, when you're counting your blessings, there's no room for negativity, right? So when things are really, really low, even if you have to start your blessings with, I got out of bed today, then you're on the right path. When you're counting your blessings, there's no room for negative thoughts, is there? Take care, God bless, and we'll see you soon. I love you guys. Never, ever forget that.